Hello, this is Microsoft David. I will be your host for today. Now, without further ado, let's get into the top 10 reasons why the Wii U failed. Number 10, poor advertising. The Wii U's advertising, especially at launch, was, let's just say, less than stellar. It didn't convey what the console had to offer, or even differentiate the console from the original Wii. Ultimately, the Wii U's advertising was a failure. Number 9, Nintendo's relationship with the online community. Nintendo's hesitance towards their content being displayed to a larger audience via the internet, most specifically YouTube, was at least partially responsible for the Wii U's poor sales. As we have seen countless times, gameplay being used by the online gaming community has actually been shown to work like free advertising, boosting the sales for said game in the process. Number 8, the console's name. Aside from the atrocious advertising during launch, the console's name also likely contributed to its low sales. Not only was the name uncreative, but it also helped prevent consumers from understanding that the console was completely different from the original Wii. As you may know, many of the accessories and games that came with the original Wii had the word Wii prefixed to their names. Some examples include Wii Play, Wii Motion Plus, Wii Sports, Wii Fit, and Wii Balance Board. This could have only further added confusion towards potential consumers. Number 7, poor online service. The Wii U had a low amount of multiplayer support, with many third-party games excluding multiplayer entirely. It also lacked many standard voice chat capabilities, and lacks the ability to download larger games due to the low amount of hard drive space. Number 6, poor launch. The Wii U came out in 2012. This was at the tail end of the 7th generation. Unfortunately, due to this, Microsoft and Sony were able to steal the spotlight the following year with the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. At this point, many considered the Wii U to be obsolete, and this only hurt the sales of the Wii U. Aside from the poor timing of the launch, the Wii U also failed to provide a unique experience that would drive consumers towards the console, with most of the launch titles being no different than games already on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. The few unique launch titles that were on the Wii U either got mediocre reviews, such as Zombie U, or were only appealing to a niche audience, such as New Super Mario Bros. U. Some fancy new shovelware also came out for the Wii U. How exciting! Number 5, low game count. Believe it or not, the Wii U has a lot of games on it, but the amount of new AAA third-party games and original first-party games is meager. If one were to count out the shovelware, remakes, and cheap shitty games that can be downloaded onto a smartphone, then the Wii U's library would be quite small. Number 4, the fanboys. It's no secret that Nintendo fanboys are some of the worst in gaming, with most of them having the inability to show Nintendo any constructive criticism about their products. Because of the lack of criticism Nintendo receives from their main consumers, they do not succeed in learning from their own mistakes, which only furthered the Wii U's failure. Number 3, the tablet controller. The tablet controller, known officially as the gamepad, may seem like a good idea, but in practice it is arguably nothing more than a gimmick that drove up the price of the console. Not only this, but the gamepad had some flaws, such as a low battery life, and the inability for it to be replaced. Number 2, low performance hardware. The Wii U's hardware is insufficient to play many modern games, which can explain why so much of its third-party support has been dropped. With only 2 GB of double data rate synchronous dynamic random access memory, and 4 by 512 MB of the slower dynamic random access memory, the Wii U more than underperforms its competitors in the hardware category. This lack of power for a console that doesn't even have a much lower price point than its competition can help explain why the console hasn't sold as much as anticipated. Number 1, lack of direction. The Wii U's lack of direction, in my opinion, is by far the biggest reason why this console failed. Unlike the Wii U did not appeal to casual gamers, especially since, in 2012, most casual gamers already had a Wii tablet or smartphone. It did not appeal to a hardcore audience very well either, since the Wii U is underpowered, overpriced, and lacks a vast array of games. With this lack of direction, the Wii U only appealed to one demographic, Nintendo fans.